of the Irish. Sure, you've all heard about the Irish and their amazing look. You've probably even bought lottery scratch cards festooned with shamrocks, leprechauns, rainbows and pots of gold. Are the Irish any luckier than anybody else? Let's look at the evidence, shall we? Brutally oppressed by England, the Irish were forced to abandon their homeland in the millions, only to meet with poverty and "no Irish need apply" signs wherever they went. The Irish variant of good fortune usually seems to be defined by down on their luck. The concept of Irish being blessed in any way could potentially be viewed as the cruelest joke ever. Still, there is a certain Irish cussedness and willingness to take wild and crazy chances that may end up leading to lots of good fortune. And then there's the distinctive Irish exuberance and willingness to celebrate any incidents of random windfall. Maybe that's why everybody regarded the Irish as lucky. Anytime something did go right, they were up drinking and carrying on until the break of dawn. So maybe we Irish are just more inclined to celebrate and share our good luck with all who are around when it occurs. Just hope you're lucky enough to be there the next time one of us hits it big. St. Patrick's Day, the sober version. Before you start rubbing your hands in glee anticipating riotous escapades involving dozens of cute colleens with skimpy green tops, glittery face paint and barrels of green beer, know that St. Patrick's Day in Ireland was traditionally a quiet, church-oriented affair. The typical Irish family would rise early and find a solitary sprig of shamrock to put on their sombre Sunday best. Then they'd spend the morning in church listening to sermons of how thankful they should be that St. Patrick saved a bunch of ungrateful sinners. Nobody wore green, as it was considered an unlucky colour not suitable for church. Fun stuff, eh? It gets better. Rather than spending the rest of the day gallivanting around the town, square-tossing green beads and asking complete strangers to smooch under the shamrocks, there was a quiet, sober parade promoting responsibility and community values, with no drunken shenanigans whatsoever. You see, St. Patrick's Day, Good Friday and Christmas Day were the 3 days of the year when the pubs weren't allowed to open. Yep, you heard it right, folks. The towns and villages of Ireland were dry as a rock in the desert on Ireland's National Feast Day. People generally just gathered for a hearty family meal, somewhat like the US Thanksgiving feast, annoyed the hell out of each other, and had an early night. Parading with pride. Yep, the massive, spectacular parades attended by impressive crowds are an American innovation. The largest St. Patrick's Day parade in the US takes place in New York, where the event draws an average of 2 million people of all nationalities. The second largest celebration is held in Boston. This South Boston parade is probably the nation's oldest, first being hosted by the Charitable Irish Society of Boston all the way back in 1737. Another early March 17th celebration took place in New York City in 1762, when Irishman John Marshall held a celebration in his house. Little is known about the event except the guests apparently marched in a festive formation to his gathering. The first organised modern New York parade was held in 1766, when military units strode at dawn from the house of one leading Irish citizen to the next. Over the years, as the parade grew in strength, it became a chance for the Irish to gather and demonstrate their combined political influence. Apart from showing that they were a force to be reckoned with, it was of course also a chance to blow off some steam and have a grand old time. In its current incarnation, the parade is about Irish heritage, with the added benefit that everyone else gets a chance to join in and become green for the day. Meanwhile, back in Ireland, the parade has become Americanised in the last decade or two. Irish people now don the same kind of crazy get-ups that they do in the US. Chapter 2. How the Irish Made America. While the Great Famine was a major motivation for Irish immigration to the United States, this movement was well underway prior to the famine and continued long after its effects had subsided. The main impetus for the mass migration was a potent combination of religious persecution, unfeasible rents, and the constant threat of eviction from the land. The treacherous and unreasonable nature of English rule had a lot to do with all of the aforementioned factors. For a people who struggled under British control, the United States held an allure as the colony that had set itself free of imperial rule. Their desire to better themselves combined with abundant American opportunities meant that most Irish saw the US as a promised land. From the birth of America to the modern day, the Irish have had a dynamic and far-reaching effect on the development of their adopted country. Often they've had to push their way through the doors of power, having